Hey there, and welcome to YAS, a stripper podcast. On this podcast, we'll discuss how classifying each other as people and workers is dangerous to society and marginalized groups of people. We'll also talk about the climate in and outside of the strip clubs and all of the amazing things that strippers do. And of course, we'll talk about all of the things in between. I'm your queen, A.M. Davies, and this is YAS, a stripper podcast.
Hi everyone, AMD here, back with another amazing episode. Today we're talking to NatsHoney, who's been a longtime friend of mine and actually has been on this show before. Back when we were first starting out, I believe she was one of our first 3 guests. So I'm just so excited to have her here today because she's talking about a new project that she's been working on called the Artists Plex. And it is going to be a membership workspace, creative space for sex workers, basically, in Los Angeles. And it's the first of its kind. It's very, very exciting. And she's literally going to be walking through in this episode what's happening at this space, when it's coming to life, and how you all can be a part of it if you want, no matter where you live. I don't know how many of you travel to Los Angeles, but if and when you do, there will now be like this beautiful, magical space for you as a sex worker to come in and create and work. So this is a really exciting episode. Something I really appreciate about Natalie is the amount of business and entrepreneur work that she's put in her life throughout the years. So she's been doing all types of different businesses for the last 20 years. And so she has a lot of experience working in Southern California and getting brick and mortar businesses and turning them into reality and turning them into like profitable and successful businesses. And so, this is not her first hurrah, although it is her biggest to date. So I'm really excited for you all to learn more about this and to learn more about the fundraiser and to get involved there's all different levels of involvement. You could donate, you can share the news, you can become a member and potentially become an investor. There's all kinds of stuff that are available for this project. So, it's such a beautiful idea. And I'm just so honored that I had the chance to talk with her today to get her vision out of her brain and into your ears. So thank you, as always, for tuning in. Let's slide on over and chat to Natalie. Hey, I'm AMD back again. Hello, everyone, for joining us. We have a repeat guest with us today. She is someone that has been on the show in the past. We have NatsHoney on the line with us. But as usual, before we get into that, I just want to thank you and remind you that we are taking donations to this podcast so that we can fund it and pay our guests and pay our hosts for this work. And some of you have been donating, and we are so grateful for that. If you want to donate, you can go to paypal.me/yes a stripper podcast, or head on over to our website at yesastripperpodcast.com and you will find a donate button. I have made it very clear. It is there. Make it rain. $2, $5, $100, $5,000, whatever works for you. We're here to receive. Thank you so much. But I just want to get right into it. We have very important things to talk about. We've got Natalie, aka NatsHoney, on the line. Hello, dear friend.
Hello, 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 hello.
You sound
Hello.
great. Hello. Nat, I know I just called you she a minute ago, but can you just reaffirm with everyone what your pronouns are?
She, her, and if I'm feeling frisky, it would be they as well. So
Okay, gotcha. Thank you. So how is life? You're so busy, my friend. I love you and appreciate all the work you do. What's going on with you? What's new in your world?
new in my world, new business venture,
Mm-hmm.
taking on a problem head on. Feel like we need to address it.
Mm-hmm.
That problem being the critique that society continuously puts on strippers. So we're going to
Yeah.
just go ahead and punch that in the face forward.
Yeah.
Working on a co-working model.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna throw in event venue in there, mix in some workshop and lessons and a pole studio, and what you will get is the Artists Plex. And
Wow.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
knee deep all the way in these days.
Yeah. So we're definitely, I want to definitely like get into all of that with you. But for our audience members who haven't like learned about you yet, which first of all, I don't know, what have you been doing with your life if you don't know what NatsHoney is up to and who she is. But I
No
just
one
want
knows.
to, I guess that's true. Yeah, you are a little like kind of undercover. I do appreciate that about you. But I do want people to know a little bit about you. So
I like a
like
little bit of mystery. I like the mystery.
yeah. Well, so what do you feel comfortable with sharing about like who you are and what your background is as a stripper?
Okay, so I consider myself a veteran at this point. I've
Mm,
been in the industry since the early 2000s. Worked at a nude club out here in the San Fernando Valley in the greater Los Angeles area. That was my first spot. Pretty much rolled that over into a future career when that was kind of unheard of,
mm,
especially because I was a Black chick from a little small club out of nowhere. It didn't make any sense. So I did that. Met a couple of peers who shared my passion, put together some pole competitions for the next 10 years,
mm-hmm,
trained a couple of artists as well. Gosh, had a kid,
mm.
and now I volunteer with Strippers United. So that's I don't know, 20 years in
Yeah.
10 seconds.
Yeah. We've been dancing for like the same amount of time. That's
Yeah,
crazy. In the
yeah,
same city. Friend, we've known each other for a long time.
yes,
Since
very, very long.
2006.
I'll say 4.
You think for okay. Well, we knew of
I,
each other.
yes. Okay. So we knew of each other in 2004, and that infamous comment that I made to you about, I don't know, being blessed by the gods
No,
or
you
being
no
sent by
no
the
no
gods.
no no. I remember it specifically. I will never forget this line because it imprinted your personality on my brain. I said, how are you able to do all that on the pole? And you said, I don't know. God gave me this gift. That's what you said. And I was like, oh, okay.
And every time she says it, you guys, it's like I don't know what to say back because very, very well that could have easily came out of my mouth because I would say that
And you like
to this
weren't even
day.
really looking at me when you said it too.
Okay, well, I'm gonna say 2004, but more or less like let's get on the same train. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
2006 for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, what a blessed friendship it has been. I just love growing with you. It's been wonderful.
I find it to be quite beautiful. It's one of the most
Mm-hmm.
beautiful aspects of my life.
I've
Truly,
learned so
like
much
just
from you. Yeah.
same. You know, it's nice when I can. It's nice to have a counterpart that is my opposite.
Mm. Yeah,
It
we are
feels
very different.
comforting. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, yeah. It's so different, but it's like, how are chicks the same though?
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know, but we're really different too. But yeah,
Yeah,
so
that's true. Well, I want to so let's talk about the space. I know you really want
okay.
to talk about the space. That's why you're here today. So we can talk about the Artist Plex. Can you just like kind of explain to the audience like the just like a quick synopsis of like where it will be and what it will be, and then I'm going to ask you some like deeper questions.
Okay. It will be located, headquartered in Los Angeles. The Artist
Mm-hmm.
Plex is headquartered in Los Angeles, currently near MacArthur Park.
Mm.
It is a large building, the largest I've ever leased before. It's over 14,000 square feet.
Wow.
We are building a cinema room. We will have a beauty suite so you can come and get your hair cut, not necessarily colored because we won't be a full service salon. If you want to get some braids done, you can do
Mm.
that there. In addition to the beauty suite, we will also have a meditation area. We'll have 3 rooms that you'll be able to go and shoot content in, whether it's for vlogging or on demand content, or you want to do a photo shoot to some degree.
Mm-hmm.
You can come in and you could rent those out. What else will we have? We'll have a library. gosh. Oh, and then the co-working space itself, go in, take meetings, conference meetings. Hopefully we can really help out some of the organizations that are all over, whether they
Mm.
be in local Los Angeles or
Mm-hmm.
just outside of LA, having a place where people can come in and have those meetings that they need to have face to face, or even just networking, quite
Mm-hmm.
honestly.
So like networking meetings kind of, is that a
Yeah,
possibility?
maybe, I just always imagine that people travel to LA to kind of like get things done. It's like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go to LA for 2 weeks and I'm going to talk to this person who's been wanting to talk to me about this, or I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I just feel like having Artists Plex there for that individual that's coming from out of town, like they'll be able to set up all types of meetings at this one particular space,
Mm-hmm.
and it can be done from beginning to end. And not only that, we'll also have private events there too. So if you
Mm-hmm.
have a show that you want to produce, or whether it be runway or like a dancing show,
Mm.
it's all in one stop. You can totally come in, you could do that, book out the calendar. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that idea, especially about like having a dance event or something, because I feel like every time we want to do a dance event in LA, we're like, where do we go? How do we do it? When are they available? How much does that cost? And it's like, will they
Mhm.
let us be there?
Will they charge us more because of who we are?
Right. Right.
Things like that. Yeah, let's sucker punch society in the gut,
Yeah,
create it for ourselves. Let's just
exactly.
make it happen. And then
Yeah.
let's just, blow, grow, do it.
Yeah. So one of the things that you've, mentioned and we've talked about in conversation is that, this space would be the first of its kind within the strip artist industry. And one of the things that, well, first of all, there's two parts to this. So first, it is, isn't it? Because I was thinking the other day, I was like, I don't think anything else like this exists. For civilians, it does,
Yeah.
but not for sex workers. Have you looked up? Is
Mm-mm.
is there anything
Of
like
course.
this? Yeah.
Of course. I keep an eye to the ground on what's going on.
Mhm.
I'm staying in the know. This is not taking place anywhere. So, but I'm
Right.
pretty sure after it's created, we'll
Mhm.
see them everywhere. And I hope that that's the case, as long as it
Mhm.
benefits the community at large. Like, yeah.
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah. And so the next part of that is like you say that, and this is an exact quote, that it is poised to disrupt the status quo. What do you mean by that?
The game will be changed.
Mhm.
Period. Um, as it stands right now, a dancer has to depend on the club for her clientele, interactions, money. It's just everything comes out of the club, but yet the club is in a very nurturing or supportive environment
Mhm.
for their own artistic development.
Right.
Um, there's no way for you to, like, sure, you can practice on stage in the off hours, but as soon as somebody comes in, either you got to get off because you might be interrupting somebody's stage. Like, there's no,
Right.
you can't really further like what you want to do in a quick manner, or even approach it with discipline and ambition in a way where, okay, I can get this done in 6 months. You have to kind of like, oh, well, now I can practice tonight because it was only 30 minutes and I got it in a little something, something, whatever it may
Right.
be. Or I was able to talk to another dancer tonight and she seems like she wants to put on a show too. Oh, well, hopefully we can do something. Well, you could take the Artist Plex. You and that dancer could easily meet up and have a meeting at the Artist Plex, be in that environment where you're inspired, you're motivated, and you want to get shit done. Like, let's ramp it up. Let's shake up the establishment. Let's do it
Right.
all the way. How crazy would it be if there was a huge wave of dancers that were just immediately supported, had confidence in their own professional development, like, just unheard of. Just, I don't even know if people can fathom what would happen in that whole realm, but I
Mhm.
can, and I can't wait to see
Mm.
it happen. It will
Yeah.
really, yeah, it's going to change the game. I didn't have this coming up. It needs to exist.
Yeah, and how long have you been thinking about this, wanting this, and like others involved, including myself, because
I
I
mean,
don't think I
honest, yeah,
even knew
right.
how much I wanted it or needed it. Yeah.
I think we've all thought about it at one point or another. I
Mm,
just, once you're into like the sisterhood or the brotherhood of it all, or you find like a community of 2 or 3 dancers that you're comfortable with, you start thinking about things on a greater scale. So I feel like we've all thought about that. I have, you
mm-hmm,
have,
mm-hmm,
the other 6 founding members have thought about that in one way or another.
mm-hmm.
It's just now we're just gonna do it.
Right.
We're gonna stop the eternity of, oh, that would be cool if we could. We are going to. If we're all
Right.
thinking the same thing, let's just put that action right behind that.
Right. Right. How many times have you heard someone say, like, why don't strippers just like start their own thing? And it's usually pertaining to like a club.
Mm,
But this is different than a club, but
hmm.
still just as necessary and valuable. And like how many times have you heard that though? Like, just do it for yourselves then, because we're getting treated so poorly
You know what?
elsewhere.
Honestly, I want to say less than a handful of times,
Mm-hmm.
and I would like it. It should seem like it should be more. Like you should get more of that encouragement. Like, oh well, if people aren't caring about you guys or society is rejecting you, like do it for yourself. No one is really pushing us to do that. At least not that I'm receiving.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's more or less like we have to push ourselves. We have to do it. No one else is going to, because no one is clocking it, caring about it, going to do anything about it. Like it just goes on and on and on.
You know what I just like thought about, and I like totally got chills, is that like there isn't a place for us to like even talk about what we're going through, because we can't talk in the clubs because we'll get
Mm-mm.
fired or bullied. So it's just like dawning on me that like strippers and sex workers will be able to just like rub elbows with each other, meet each other, and potentially like have like talks and
Yeah.
meetings about, hey, this is what's happening in our community, and these are things that we need to learn about each other and for each other. It's exciting. uh, It's
Chill
very
bumps.
exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that right there is kind of like leads me into the next question, was how is the Artist Plex going to change the structure of strip artist workforce? I mean, do you see this as a way of like strippers really being able to like have potential, like have possibilities of learning about like what's actually happening legal, like versus their rights or legalities at the workplace?
I do think that that will be a positive attribute of this establishment for
Mm-hmm.
sure. Um, I don't think that it will be that for each individual,
Sure. Yeah. It's
you
not like
know.
mandatory
Um,
or anything, but
no, not even like,
yeah.
it's like somebody might like they may want to just hurry up and get out of the club, 2
Mm-hmm.
months in, and they're like, no, I just want to, I want to
Right.
go be a writer in Switzerland, and that's really like my dream. Like
Mm-hmm.
they may not receive that. But the next person who's like, no, 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 I plan on dancing for the next 20 years. Them motherfuckers aren't going to keep taking my money. This shit isn't cool. Like, yeah, there will
Right.
be there will be a calendar of events on the wall, and then she'll be able to say, oh, or they will be able to say, hey, there's a meeting about rights and clubs. Yeah, that shit's happening. Oh fuck, I'm going. I'm gonna go to that meeting. I'm gonna get some
Yeah.
information, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's like small little building blocks
Yeah.
for a huge, huge wave.
Yeah, totally. I mean, we need to find more ways of being connected, united, and at least, even if there's a difference of opinions on things, at least being able to come to the table and talk to each other about that so that we can all
Yeah,
learn each other's perspectives, you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't agree with. Yeah, I am my own person. You are your own person. Like we're all individuals. I don't have to exactly be like, yeah, we're in total agreement, and not at
Right.
all. But
Right.
respect is something that we shouldn't play around with when it comes to one another.
Right.
Just common courtesy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. We don't have to like each other, but we have to work
Mm-mm.
together. And we also are all being exploited. That's like that's a common ground. We're
Yeah.
all being
Yeah.
exploited.
Yeah. The world
Yeah,
is already against us. Let's not turn
exactly.
in like that. That shit don't make any sense at all. That
Right.
no, let's not do that.
Exactly. One of the things that, I find really intriguing about the Artist Plex is that, it looks like you have like some community engagement that we want to happen there. So like, food drives, clothing donation drives, and other things. Like what do you daydream about in the realm of that subject?
Okay, so and I'm so happy because it's like this whole thing is it's bigger than me, it's beyond me. So one of the team members, Pepper Spray, they bring up how having mutual aid resources in the area is something that has to happen, is desperately needed. And I'm kind of new to the lingo that's being described. But as it's being described to me, I'm just like, yeah, I see
Mm,
people lining up to receive fruits and vegetables if we had it. Apparently, we have access to that kind of stuff. And there are people right in front of us that need it. So I see us
mhm,
totally providing for the community in terms of their needs
mhm,
on a small scale, maybe even on a larger scale. Like, who's to
mhm,
say that we don't take money that we make and actually invest it back into the community? Who's
mhm,
to say that we don't buy an apartment complex? Who's to say that we don't buy this mini mall right here? Who's
mhm.
to like, I can't even tell you what I see in my head because it's all very grandiose.
Yeah, and which I love, by the way. Like, let's dream big, let's change the world, because like I feel like sex workers already do that. Like we're already working so
Mhm.
hard. I don't know. I haven't quite put my finger on what it is that makes sex workers give a fuck so much about the world and society. But the
I think it's
majority,
just a goddess
you think,
complex. Like I think it's because we're goddesses, honestly, or gods, however you would like to identify
yeah.
yourself. But for me, it's another level of being human. It's understanding spirits, souls, body, and how
Hmm.
it's more than just the physical outer form. You know,
Hmm.
that's why we can easily talk to somebody while we're working a shift and bring them out of their depression if we
Hmm.
really have the skills to, do it and make them happy. Like, we have certain skills when it comes to connecting with humanity that others don't, and it's
Hmm.
because it's built into, I would say, our DNA, but like that wouldn't make any sense because it's like, we're all different and we don't share DNA. But y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think that you're right though. We spend so much time like at work talking to so many different people and getting so many different perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've tried to do the math before of how many people I've spoken to in my life. And it's just like out of control. It's like such a big number.
I would think so. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Wow.
like think about how many conversations based on like how many people come in through the club and how many nights a week you worked for how many years. And so we just spend so much time talking to people who like have all these different types of problems. And
Yeah.
I feel like I've grown compassion and empathy for other human beings through that process.
Same. Same. I also feel like I entered the profession already kind of feeling like that and carrying that weight and really putting everyone on an even level. Everything
Mhm.
is like really even level to me.
Mhm.
You're not better off because you come from a privileged family. You could have been exposed to some kind of sexual abuse. Like, it
Sure.
really, I came in very much like, no, 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 no. Everyone is fucked. Let's bring in some happiness and joy. Everyone is apparently fucked. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's just so important to have this mutual aid and community engagement aspect of this, this brick and mortar business um because I try to convince people all the time of the amazing work that sex workers do, but this is like really tangible and it's something that
Yeah.
like we can have like the local community and hopefully like the state community and eventually on a national platform where it's like, look at what these sex workers are doing, which is also already happening, not to diminish anything that's already happening around the country, PDX stripper strike, for instance, and Haymarket Pole is like done amazing work like that. But now it's like, yeah, let's do that in LA, because like nothing like they're killing it in other parts of the country, but we're just not doing that in LA on that scale. And like,
I think it's different.
yeah.
Like, and I think that, what I hope, because at least this is how it affected me. Each organization in the various states that have done things, whether it was the East Coast that came up with like a collective in which where they like donate to each other, and it's like really cool. It's like resource based, or it's in reference to labor and trying to change racist policies at work. That's inspiring. Or another organization that are like writing laws about blocked contact lists or panic buttons. Like, I just think that we're all doing something different, and what we're doing in LA, it's not mirrored by anything else that's happening somewhere else.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
So, and let's see where we're at a year from now.
Yeah. So this is like an expensive project. So what do you want to tell everyone about how we're getting
Okay,
there?
so look, I did some numbers. Some numbers, you guys. I did some numbers. And by the time this podcast is released, I hope that, we got some of these numbers. So I'm thinking I'm going to go long, I'm going to go high.
Yeah.
And then we're going to work our way down.
Okay.
There's billions of people in the world, right? And do you know what that number is? 9 billion, 4 billion? What is that number?
It's about 8 billion right now.
Okay, see, I knew Ann would know. Okay, so 8 billion people. Let's say out of 8 billion people, 3 billion have the means to entertain themselves inside of an environment in which that they would have dancers of one sort or another. And out of those 3 billion people that would actually go inside of a club and support the club, 1 billion currently have enough money to share.
Okay.
Okay. Now, out of the 1 billion that have enough money to share worldwide, 1 million of that billion maybe is somewhere in our country. If we can get 1,600 of those people to give us on average $40, we will raise the $65,000 we need in order to open up this establishment.
Okay.
And that would take us through the first 3 months, really help us get everything on the calendar. We worked out a fantastic deal with the commercial property owners, where they're pretty much letting us go in there and get in first 2 months rent free because they believe in the vision. I've had a lot of commercial units at this point for various businesses throughout the last 20 years. I have never had a landlord tell me everything that I wanted to hear. So from the very beginning, this particular landlord has told me everything I wanted to hear in terms of price per square foot, us possibly being able to use the building for 24 hours. Like that's like, you have to close down at 8. But this place, you guys, was originally built in like 1912. It's like one of the original theaters in MacArthur Park back when it was called Westlake. So we're talking like, would that be considered west of downtown LA?
Yes.
Yes. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, long story short, 1,600 people out of 1 million. I know you guys are out there.
Give us $40.
Or more.
Or more.
Or less.
Yeah.
Just support. Like,
Yeah. This is a crowdfunding. It
totally is. We know that the demand is there. And I think what would inspire us to just keep pushing that much more is to see that those that support us want us to do it. And that would be being funded through crowdfunding. So
Yeah.
let's make it happen. Show us that you believe in us, because I think that we believe in humanity. That's why we are in the position that we're in, to
Yeah.
be patient, listen, care, and
Yeah.
just, you know.
Well,
Yeah.
just so you know, timeline wise, this podcast is dropping on October 27th,
Oh, okay.
which is 6 days from now.
Oh, shit. All right.
YAS Queen. Yeah. So we won't be quite at our
Yeah.
$65,000 mark by then, but the fundraiser will be live.
It will be live.
And they can help get to that point. Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
What else is there that you feel like is really, that we haven't touched on yet, that's really important for people to know about regarding this project?
If you want in, you know, communicate with us. If you want to talk to us, if you feel like it's dope, or like contact us if you want to share or express. That would be, that's what I would say about that, because somebody may be like, oh, that'd be cool if we could do it out here, like
like if they want to duplicate.
And that's,
or even like, is there investment opportunities right now for people outside of the founding?
I think that they would have to send us a message, and we would begin that conversation, and you know, kind of see what are they talking about, and you know, what are they looking for, because we do have a strict setup that we're following, but we are looking for at least 2 more members. So by all means, if you fit the bill and you feel like it might be a good fit for you, and you feel like you have X, Y, and Z that you can bring to the table, by all means, send an email to admin, so ADMIN, at artists, that's plural, plex.com.
Yeah, got it.
Okay, great.
Yeah, that sounded great. Good soundbite. Gotcha.
Want to be fabulous just like these strippers? Pay attention. It's Stripper Tips.
Diversify your portfolio. I've always said that from the beginning. And as a dancer, if you take that and you say, okay, at a club, that means have multiple customers, right? Of course, we all know that. And if you just keep that same philosophy from here on out for the rest of your life, diversify your portfolio, I think you're sure off to be pretty well off.
Okay. What's an example of that?
Maximize all of your talents.
Okay.
Whether that be doing them because they bring you joy and happiness, or doing it because it brings you financial stability. But diversify your portfolio. Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Right. Yeah. That's very sound advice. Very sound.
I just think we can use it across the board, and it's something we can take just for the, you know, keep on going. You don't want to have just one crypto stock, you know.
Well, especially,
you're gonna get in.
Yeah, especially because you never know when your club is going to shut down or you're going to get fired for no reason.
Or when a customer wants something different, like you never know.
Yeah, or your best
protect yourself and your assets.
Yeah. There's so many. Oh my gosh, it was such
people die.
Your life, yeah.
People move, jobs change, like things happen. Protect yourself by diversifying your portfolio, whether it be your artistic talents. Just constantly keep that in your head. Constantly.
Good.
At least for me.
Yeah. Good word of advice.
Get ready for our rapid fire question round. It's time for 4 for 1.
What makes you think either Bigfoot exists or doesn't exist?
I haven't stopped to think about Bigfoot.
Really?
He's not. I don't.
Do you think he exists?
No, nor do I care.
Got
Is he coming to the Artists Plex? Does he have a membership? He can come on he can exist all he wants. Come on through.
Oh my God. Okay,
let's do it.
We don't know. Okay, got it. All right. If you were in a cult, what would your role be?
It would be if I was in a cult.
Yeah.
What would my role be?
Uh-huh.
I would be the director of ambition and
And what else?
Creativity.
The director of ambition and creativity. I have never heard that title in a cult before, but hey, first time for everything.
I think it works.
Yeah.
The
director of ambition and creativity. Okay. If any two different types of animals could mate with each other to make like a dope new kind of animal, which two animals would you choose?
Okay, so I'm not much of an animal like person, like how you're like an animal person.
I am an
But
animal person.
You're totally animal person. I feel like all of you guys are, and I'm like the only one who's not. Okay, so my first thought in my head was a liger. Like I instantly thought like a tiger and a lion. I'm like, that would be cool. And then I thought about that fucking movie. Pedro.
Tiger King?
Vote for Pedro.
Oh, no, Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah, and then that took me like within 5 seconds, I just went down a rabbit hole. And then that took me to your performance when you did that whole routine. Like, so I just went all through all of that.
Which one was that? I was an animal?
LA.
Mm-hmm.
Convention. Mm-hmm. And you were the character from the, like, I don't.
Oh, so now you're thinking of the time that I dressed up like Napoleon Dynamite. Okay. We're way
they have the
topic.
liger, right? No, they're not. They have the liger.
Yeah.
There's a liger in this.
There's true. Man, yeah. All right.
See?
You got me. The rule is you interpret the question however you choose, and your body or choice, you chose the interpretation. Got it. So a liger is what you want. A tiger and a lion. Got it. Okay. Wow, it really went all over the place. Okay, last question. Okay. What's your favorite type of body of water and why?
The ocean, because we're powerless.
And that's why I'm terrified of the ocean.
I think we all should be. I think that's also where the aliens are. So, yeah.
I do too.
I mean, it's a whole body of water we can't do. They're like, what?
And we don't know what's going on down there. It's
at all deep. Whatsoever.
There's
at
so much going on. What?
Okay,
what are you gonna say?
Friend to friend, there's a documentary about the octopus teacher. Have you seen it?
I've seen it. Yeah.
I just watched it for the first time. There's so much going on in the ocean that we don't understand.
I know. I agree. It was a very good movie. I want to watch it again fantastic. Now. Yeah. I think I might want to watch it on mushrooms or something though. I think I might do that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think I might do mushrooms and watch it. I just thought of that right now.
That sounds like a mind trip, like an evolution of the mind in a way. Wow, that's
what I want.
Let me know how that goes. I
will. Yeah. Maybe I'll FaceTime you while I'm doing it. I don't know.
Fuck yeah. I love a FaceTime. Hey, phone calls. Love a FaceTime.
So, darling, can you let everyone know, like, let's talk about the URL one more time. And then like, any like thing that we want people to pay attention to for this upcoming project.
Okay, so we definitely want everybody to check out the GoFundMe. Mm-hmm. So just hit up GoFundMe.com, and then we're going to go to that search bar and type in Artists Plex. We'll pop up. You'll see us. Our tagline is "Help us cement our artistry." And then it says Artists Plex, so you can't miss us. Trust, because we're going to be raising funds for the next 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Because we need $65,000, people.
Yeah.
So GoFundMe, and then we'll have an Instagram. It's not set up just yet. We need another 24 hours for that. But that will also be Artists Plex. And then our actual website, artists, again, plural, plex.com.
Got it. Perfect.
Sweet.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure, and I'm even more excited than I was before. I'm having this conversation. So
some sauce.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go run over, right?
Yeah. You bounce out of here. And to our listeners out there, thank you so much again for listening. We love your donations. Don't forget to hit us up at paypal.me/YAS Stripper podcast so we can pay our guests and hosts. but also donate to Artists Plex. Do both. Why not? All right.
Yes. Spread the love.
Spread the love. Spread
the love.
Yes. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Bye, Natalie. Bye, my love.
Bye.
Thanks for listening, everyone. This episode has been a production with Period Podcast Network. Find out more on Instagram at Period Podcast Network. Be sure to follow us on Instagram too at YAS, a stripper podcast, and you can find us on Twitter at YAS, a stripper pod. Please like, subscribe, and rate YAS, a stripper podcast here on YouTube. See you next week.